Welcome to Coping Skills 101, Part 4, the holidays. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so first we got to think of what we're thankful for. That helps. Count your many blessings. Yes, we can, because with depression, if you think about it, it's pretty negative thinking. And when you get stuck in that rut of negative thinking, when you go down that road, it's like, it's hard to turn around. It's hard to change. It is. Sometimes you don't even feel like picking up. You don't feel like getting up. In my case, after John died, I had a real bad case of ennui. In case you don't know what that means, it's French for why bother? Who cares? And I have to care for myself. And that you are your best friend, that you can help yourself. And that's what I try and do. Especially being retired, I don't go to work a whole lot. I do work some, semi-retired. But when I'm at home, I got to figure out things. I can sit here all day long and mope and whine and cry. Or I can do something like this. Find a new skill. Learn something. Learn a new word. Try something that you haven't tried before that you would like to try. Whether it's a new game, a new activity, a new craft. If you do crafts, find a new medium. Or travel somewhere in this day and age with the gas prices, even though they are down right now. Explore a new venue. Go to the library. Hanging online all day long and hanging on your phone all day long, which I find myself doing a little bit too much. It's good having the support of my support group. My Gay Widows and Widowers support group has been phenomenal, and I thank you guys. One of my fellow widowers started a new group called Bereavement Part 2. And it does have many different facets, many different things that we need to go through. Meditation. Practice it. For any of those that have ever played the piano or picked up an instrument of any kind or tried anything new, you have to practice at it before you get good at it. Meditation is one of those. It takes practice. Whenever you feel that your focus has gone away from your meditation, stop again and start back over right where you're at, and get back into it. Like I said before, there are many, many different YouTube videos for meditation. I suggest guided meditations for one main reason, especially if you're starting out, because they help get you in that frame, get you in that mode. Study something. Take a class. Mine's cooking. I've learned a lot of new things. Since I retired, I've read over 8 books so far. Yes, I'm rereading books because I do love a certain series. But I'm reading them again, and I'm enjoying it. It's taking me out of my thought process of the negative thoughts. That's cognitive behavioral therapy, or cognitive behavioral techniques. Distraction is one of the best. If you get stuck in that rut of all you think about is negative, 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 what have you got to be positive for? And in working in the mental health field, when I ask the patients that particular question, what exactly do you have to be thankful for? What's positive in your life? It's hard for them to come up with something because all they've thought about and all I've thought about is the negative, what I've lost, what I don't have, The plans that I don't get to do. Well, those plans have changed. You know, everything changes. Remember that life does change. But you have to make the change. In this day and age of the holidays, with all the hectic hustle and bustle of going shopping, if you're cooking for Thanksgiving, or what are you going to do when you go to somebody's house and you drive over there and you've got to be upbeat and just be thankful. What have I got to be thankful for? You know, I always say that my biggest thing is sometimes it takes something as small as I woke up this morning and I was breathing. That's something to be thankful for, because if I woke up this morning and I wasn't breathing, I woke up on the other side. And you don't want to, well, you don't want to do that. Or if you feel like you want to do that, that's when you need to call for help. There are many different places you can go for help. It can be a friend. It can be a Facebook group. It can be a support group. Don't wait until you're ready to jump. When you first start feeling depressed, get somebody to help you through it. Whether it's call a friend, or text a friend, or message somebody on Facebook, or something like that. Like with my group, I go in and if I'm having a rough time, I can go, I need somebody to talk to. Can somebody message me? And within 2 or 3 minutes, I'll get somebody to start messaging. And we talk about what's going on. Don't shove it under the table, because when you shove it under the table, what happens? Pretty much it builds up and builds up and builds up. Own it up, own it. And when people ask you, why are you still hanging on to it? That's one of the things that I keep seeing is, you know, and I didn't want to be one of those people when, right after John died, of hanging in constantly thinking about the grief 24/7. There are other things in life. You know, if you drink just water and don't eat or anything like that, you're not going to survive too much. Same thing with grief. Yes, own it. Don't throw it under the table. It is there. Feel the pain. The pain helps us grow. Keep it going. I'll tell you, there's a story. Little old woman, 92 years old. Her husband recently died, and she's having to move to a nursing home because she just can't take care of herself too well, or a supported independent living type thing. It's an apartment. And after waiting for a couple of hours for her place to get ready, they came up and told her that it was ready, and she said, "Oh, okay." And she, as the worker was explaining how pretty everything was, that they got it all fixed up with new curtains and everything and new paint, and she goes, "Oh, I'll just love it." "Well, wait a minute, you haven't seen it." And she goes, "Honey, let me explain something. I choose to love it. After this long, over the years, I've created so many memories, and I store them up in a memory bank up here in my head." And for just this time of life, so that I can go into my bank and look at the memories that I have and enjoy the things that I've had in my life. Think about when you were a kid and your favorite Christmas present that you ever got, and how much you enjoyed that. That's a memory. Do you still have that toy? Most people don't. But you have the memory that you had it, and the enjoyment that you had playing with it. So take that everywhere. The friends that you have or had, and the things that you enjoyed the favorite vacation you went on. That's a memory. So store those memories up as you're living. Do you want to remember that you just sat in a room and just whined and cried to yourself all the time? Or do you want to have a memory? Create a new one. It's hard. I'm telling you it is. It's really hard. But do it anyway. Especially when you don't feel like it, that's when you really need to do it. Watch a comedy. Watch something funny. Laugh. They say laughter is the best medicine. Well, sometimes it is. What other coping skills do I use other than like meditation? And sometimes we go to self-medicate, whether it be with drugs, alcohol, sex. So it does make you feel good. Yes, it does. It's one of those things that there's so many things that you can do. It makes you feel good right now, but when all of it's over, when the drugs and alcohol wear off, or the person you had sex with is gone and you're back alone, it makes the aloneness even worse. Don't do that. Don't isolate. Reach out. Like Diana Ross said, reach out and touch somebody's hand. That's what you have to do. I was going to be alone this Thanksgiving, but old friends, I got to go. I'm going over there tomorrow, so I'm going to have a good time. In spite of the grief, the loss. Boo-hoo-hoo. One person on one of my videos said the best thing that he does to help with his depression and grief is he exercises. That's a good thing. It gets your blood flowing. You feel better afterwards. It's like when you do a craft, when you create a project, when you create something and you finish it, it makes it better. Journal is one that is great coping skill, because you can put down everything that you feel. You journal it, then look at it later and go, because reading it sort of disassociates yourself that it's now down on paper. One, it's not here anymore, it's down in paper, like Dumbledore did with Pensieve. Put it in there, put it on paper. Write a novel. Write your experiences down. Maybe you could find something that could help somebody else. Like I said about reality therapy, one of the things I had with one of the patients was suicidal. And one of the things he was so sad about was that he couldn't be with his kids. They were up north and he was working down here, that he couldn't see his kids. And so he wanted to commit suicide, and it just struck me really hard. Okay, think about it. The big thing that you're worried about is your kids, that you can't see your kids, you can't talk to them. Well, if you commit suicide, you never will. They will never hear you again, unless they've got a recording of you. So think about it. Because if you do commit suicide, yeah, you might be a guardian angel over them, but you won't be there. They won't really know it unless you can show them that you're there. So think about what you do have. What am I thankful for? Like I said, I'm breathing. I'm able to walk and talk. I've still got my wits about me, to the most point. 62 years old. I've made it this far. I'm retired. I have a roof over my head. I have food in the kitchen. Is my house fantastic? No, it's not a great place. It's not wonderful. It's not a Taj Mahal, but it's mine. I have Boudreaux, my dog. I have friends. I have a lot going on that I didn't think I had. So I'm going to close out and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.